You wake up and before you even realize it, your hand reaches for your phone, not because you decided to but because it's automatic. You scroll, you check notifications, you open apps you didn't even plan to open. Minutes pass, then more, and just like that, your day has already started without you. No intention, no control, just habit. That's what autopilot looks like. And the scary part is, most people never notice it. They think they're living their life, but they're not. They're just repeating it. There was a guy living in Chicago. Normal job, normal routine, nothing obviously wrong, but nothing really moving either. Every day looked the same. He woke up at the same time, rushed through the same morning, drove the same roads, sat in the same chair, did the same work, came back home, watched the same kind of content, went to bed and did it all over again, day after day, week after week, month after month. And if you asked him, "How's life?" he'd say, "It's fine." But deep down he knew it wasn't, because fine wasn't what he wanted. He wanted more control, more meaning, more progress. But somehow he felt stuck, not physically, mentally, like something was holding him back, but he couldn't point to it. And that's the problem with autopilot. It doesn't feel like a trap until you realize you've been in it for years. He started noticing small things. How he would open his phone without thinking. How he would switch between apps for no reason. How he would start something important, then suddenly find himself doing something completely unrelated. It wasn't a decision. It just happened. Like his brain was running a script he didn't write. That's when it hit him. He wasn't in control of his actions, his habits were. Every repeated behavior had turned into a default. Wake up, check phone. Feel bored, scroll. Feel stressed, escape. Feel uncomfortable, avoid. And the more he repeated it, the stronger it became. Until one day, it became his identity. Most people think autopilot is harmless. They think it's just routine, but it's not. Routine can build your life or destroy it. And if you're not choosing it consciously, it's choosing for you. That's why you feel like time is moving fast, because you're not fully present. You're not making decisions. You're just reacting. And when you live like that, days blur together, weeks disappear, years vanish. Think about it. How many times have you said, "Where did the time go?" That's not just time passing, that's you not being there when it did. The guy reached a breaking point one night. He was sitting alone in his apartment, TV on, phone in his hand, scrolling through content he didn't even care about. And suddenly he stopped. He looked around and asked himself a simple question: is this really my life? And for the first time he didn't avoid the answer, because deep down, he knew the truth. He wasn't building anything. He wasn't moving forward. He was just existing, repeating the same patterns, the same distractions, the same empty routines. And it hit him hard. If nothing changes, nothing changes. 5 years from now it would still be the same. That realization hurt, but it also woke him up. The next morning, something felt different. Not because he felt motivated, but because he became aware. And awareness changes everything. He didn't grab his phone immediately. He paused, just for a moment. And that moment felt strange, uncomfortable, quiet. His mind wanted to go back to the usual pattern, but he didn't. That was the first break in autopilot. He started small, very small. Instead of reacting, he began choosing. Instead of opening random apps, he asked himself, "Why am I doing this?" Instead of switching tasks, he stayed on one. It wasn't easy. His brain resisted. It kept pulling him back to the old habits. Because autopilot is comfortable. It requires no effort, no thinking, no responsibility, but control. Control requires awareness. It requires effort. It requires you to slow down and actually pay attention to your own actions. And that's something most people avoid. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly, he started noticing something powerful. He felt more present, more focused, more in control. Not because his life changed overnight, but because his attention did. He was no longer drifting through his day. He was directing it. And that's the difference. Autopilot is drifting. Control is direction. Most people are waiting for a big moment to change their life. A new year, a new opportunity, a sudden burst of motivation. But real change doesn't come from big moments. It comes from small interruptions in your autopilot. One pause, one decision, one moment of awareness. Because once you start noticing your patterns, you can start changing them. Look at your own life. How much of your day is actually intentional? And how much is just automatic? How many things are you doing because you chose to, and how many because you're used to it? That's the question that changes everything, because if you're not in control of your daily actions, you're not in control of your life. Autopilot feels safe. It feels easy, but it slowly takes your time, your focus, your potential without you even realizing it. And one day, you wake up and wonder why nothing changed. But the moment you step out of it even for a second, you take your power back. You don't need to change your whole life today. You don't need to become perfect. You just need to become aware. Notice what you're doing. Question your habits. Interrupt the pattern. That's where it starts. Because your life isn't built in big decisions. It's built in small repeated actions. And if those actions are on autopilot, your life will be too. So stop drifting. Stop reacting. Start choosing. If you made it this far, you already know most people will close this video, go back to their old habits, and nothing in their life will change. But you're still here. That means something. That means you're different. So don't break this moment. Don't go back to autopilot. Prove to yourself that you're serious. Hit like right now, not for me, but as a signal that you're done living unconsciously. Subscribe, because this channel isn't for entertainment. It's for people who want control over their life. And before you leave, go watch the next video on your screen, because this is not one video that changes you, it's the system you build after this. That next video is your next step. Don't think about it, just click it. And comment, I take control. So every time you see it, you remember the decision you made today.